Makeup has been around for a long time, but how we use it, the styles we see, and the ways we think about beauty have changed over time. I want to walk you through a recent history to help you understand how makeup styles have evolved.
Time to put on a new face.
Whether you're a makeup artist or just a lover of makeup, knowing these references will make your makeup more sophisticated and creative. So 60s were a really fun, wild decade. If you remember the light lipstick, the black eyeliner. I don't remember a lot of foundation. I don't even think there was foundation. There was definitely blush and, white nails. But then going into the 70s, you get Mary Quant, who was a British designer. She actually made the makeup you could actually buy to get the look. I also think in the 70s, it reminds me of Goldie Hawn on Laugh-In, where she would paint the little flowers on her cheek. She also had kind of a 60s makeup. But then also in the 70s, Cher, how do you not mention Cher, who always did very monochromatic, strong eyes, very tan skin, definitely a role model. But what really was a big change were the 80s. The 80s were the most intense bouts of color. The makeup was, I think downright ugly. There was yellow and blue and purple, all applied at the same time on the eyes, not natural makeup. There was contour, crazy amounts of colors not blended. Blushes were not meant to be just sitting on the side of your face. Also, women of color, black models, started to really appear and talked about different skin color. There were even ads in the 80s all of a sudden popping up about different color skin if you were black. A lot of the makeup on the black models back then were not very flattering. The colors were not right for their skin. And, it was pretty much white people's makeup on black skin. So that was something that was due to change. When I think about makeup in the 90s, that's when I kind of was doing a lot of Vogue magazine, and I learned a lot about really being a makeup artist. I would do shoots and I would literally take whatever was on the table to work with the team to get the right look. I learned a lot from the editor of Vogue, Andrea Robinson, who taught me about how to get the right beige lipstick. It's not just putting foundation on the mouth, what color really works and how lighting works. And the 90s were much more of a nude face, but very heavily applied. It was really popular to overline lips. It was popular to overdefine the eyebrows, to wear false eyelashes. It was glamorous, kind of mixed with the natural colors. I was constantly dumping my makeup bag on the floor and reorganizing it. And one day I realized, this is really dumb. Why do people need so many browns, so many reds, so many pinks? I used to mix and blend textures and colors to get the perfect color. And then one day during my editorial shoot, I met a chemist at a magazine shoot. And I said to him, I've always wanted to make a lipstick that looked like lips. He said, I could do that for you. And he did. And I said, I bet I could sell this. And that's how Bobbi Brown Cosmetics was born, with a lipstick and a really simple idea that women need a lipstick that looks like their lips. I started adding some color, red, pink, orange, and I made a range of 10 lipsticks. I was selling them out of my house, and one day I met a cosmetics buyer from Bergdorf Goodman who said I'd love to take the line. I said, okay. And myself, my husband, and some partners launched the line at Bergdorf Goodman. I also was living in the suburbs, had 2 kids at the time, commuting back and forth, still a working makeup artist. And after 4 years, we sold the company to Estee Lauder, and I became an employee, and I stayed with the company 22 years. And I left over 3 years ago. And the world and makeup has evolved and changed a lot. A great way to see how beauty has evolved is just look at the it girl of the time. An it girl is a trendsetter, someone you aspire to be. There's always an it girl. There's always a reference, whether it's Linda Evangelista. Actually, everyone had one name. Linda, Cindy, Christy, Naomi. They just had one name. And they were these gorgeous, amazing girls that did everything from magazines to advertising to fashion shows, and they just commanded the stage and took over. And all of a sudden, you'd get reality shows, so you start to see people differently, and people became really popular. And it was more about showing not the good side of people. It wasn't that you saw them dressed up on the red carpet. You would literally see them falling down, doing things that you would never want anyone to see you do. Then it evolved again when Kim Kardashian broke the internet and people started going to YouTube and watching these videos. And then all of a sudden, anyone at home could be their own Kim Kardashian. So that literally exploded, and anyone could be anything and anyone could be everything. And that's kind of where we are now. But what I'm seeing, which is happening in 2019, 2020 and above, is there is a return to women wanting more natural makeup, wanting clean makeup, and honestly wearing less makeup. There are so many more role models to look at and so many more interesting makeups to look at. They're choices. And so there are many women that still want contoured makeup. There are many women that don't. So I think it's a really interesting time right now. And I think the entire industry everyone is under change right now. Magazines, media, how you get your information, how you buy your makeup. And I find it a really exciting time.